everybody. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin. Welcome to ICC's Banter Blitz. This is our little monthly get together for December, the last one in 2016 for me. And I wish everybody season's greetings as we get down to the holidays and everybody getting excited about presents or not getting excited about paying for presents or thinking about vacations or what have you. For myself, I'm taking off tomorrow to go out to Nashville to coach the kiddies from Columbia Grammar at the National Grade School Championship. And I see that already we have lots of people lined up in the queue. Please remember that I do not select my opponents, and it's just according to where you are in the list. And if your number comes up, you better be ready to go. All right. So let's see if I'm ready to go. I'm playing Dan 910712, and I'm sure that number has some significance, which I don't get right off the bat. I don't know if it's mathematical or something personal. Maybe somebody will let me in on it. Who knows? So we've got a King's Indian. Strangely conventional for these games. Well, I play so many games where I play very weird moves, but here I think I'm going to, try this variation, which a lot of people play, just to see what it's like, because to practice. Usually, I only practice playing against a computer. You know what I like to do? I like to play against the ICC computer. On the ICC app, I play against the computer. The computer plays very strangely, though, whatever its rating is. It makes some odd choices, so it's quite a different. But then it finds some really amazing tactics that people would not find. So it's, of course, is a much better test to play against a human. But okay, Dan, taking a lot of time on that move, which I don't know if that's a good sign. I will confess that I've been practicing and haven't really been studying that critically. Most of my studying for a lot of openings is watching my students play, and when you go over students' games, you often get the gist of it. You remember all the ideas, but you might not remember the move order. If you're not thinking very hard about it. Okay, so let's jump in here. Might as well jump. So this system with the bishop e3 has become very, very popular in recent years. It's really replaced the bayonet attack, and I think theoretically speaking, it's kind of a problem for the considered a problem for the King's Indian. Let me try to remember how this goes. I mean, I don't want to just like hang something. All right, I'll just go here. That's always supposed to be useful down the line, right, to do that. I think I could have just taken the pawn on, I could have just taken the pawn on a7. Yeah, maybe I'll do it now. Yeah, would have been much more efficient to do it the last move, but okay. I'll take it now. It's when you don't, play an opening normally, then it's going to be rusty like that. But I have to say, I've seen this kind of position from students' games. Now, whether I'll, do justice to it, I don't know. But white is, basically winning on the queen side. So if you avoid something catastrophic like getting checkmated on the king side, which happens in the King's Indian, that is the idea of it. If white can avoid the checkmate, then he wins. But that isn't always a simple matter. However, I think like a move like that, queen b8, I think that black really has to kind of throw his resources into a counterattack because, like I said, I think the position is really kind of lost on the queen side already. Um, Even if he can maintain material equality, I think it's in the long run, it's more useful to attack the king side. Now, black takes his knight on b5. Without that light squared bishop, it's very hard to get a checkmate. Like all kinds of sacrifices that you might want to try on the king side. They really depend a lot on having that piece. H4. That's interesting. Wants to go h3, I guess. Well, I could make a defensive move, but I'm just gonna jump in there. I mean, I always have ideas like rook g1, to bring some of these guys into defensive position at the last second. Rook a5, yeah. But I'm not necessarily that concerned about the rook. One thing that I really want to get my hands on is the the bishop. But you know what? I think I will play bishop b6 because I kind of want to get it away from where it is now anyway. Because if black plays g3, that's a tempo. Now, once the pawn is on h4, if black plays g3 and white plays h3, then it's harder to make the sacrifices work because you don't have the h4 square for the knight. All right, here I could even just jump to e6, but I think I will take the rook. I mean, I can always sacrifice an exchange to break the attack on the king side if I want. Is g3, but now I could play h3 if I want. Yeah, I think I will because I don't see how he's going to get any kind of sacrifice. How he can even really set one up. Well, he's trying to get his queen over, so I just have to pay a little attention there. Where is he going next? Maybe I'll just. All right, I'll overprotect with bishop f1. That can't hurt. Okay, take a pawn. Okay, and all right, so he's maneuvering that into position. All right, he does have a lot of things lined up. Okay, now I just have to decide how to make a threat. All right, no, a4 doesn't really make much sense because he can take it. Takes, bishop b5. Takes, bishop b5. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. So of course, with the bishop gone, that's a lot of possible sacrifices that are eliminated. Still using that pin. Okay, once the queens are off, then there's never any sacrifices. There's no mate. That's that. And I still managed to keep the exchange. The a pawn runs in. Thank you, Dan910712. So that's kind of a typical King's Indian when black doesn't manage to get the attack going on the king side to truly get it going beyond the obvious starting point of putting a pawn on g4. Okay, so Akabal. And so starting off getting some high-rated guys. Yeah? C4. All right. How should we do this? So because I don't normally answer c4 with c5 or knight f3 with that for that matter. g6. The best move against this move order on move 4 is actually e3. Oops. I'm sorry. You think about, how you can make a nice game and then, you get a little careless. Well, can I say? I think that's a little bit inaccurate move order for white because, you move the knight, black can even take on c3 is a pretty good line. Um, so usually white wants to get the pawn on e4 so he can play bishop e3. Okay, here we have ears flying the Canadian flag, and he's kind of irregular on Banter Blitz, or at least on for me. I don't know if it's the same people that play Banter Blitz all around. I suspect it is the case, but maybe there are some people that you know, prefer certain opponents. I don't know. But Ears is trying to out unorthodox me here. So I've got to play some freaky moves too. H4 is one of those moves. You have to think about how you want to respond to it. Do you want to play H5? Do you want to play H6? Do you want to ignore it? He's going for a kind of hippopotamus thing, but if that's the plan to play this hippopotamus, I think Black would want to play H6 first to answer H5 with G5. And then that's probably okay because the pawn on E6 is covering the F5 square, so there's no weakness created there. But I think you have to start with H6, and I think you definitely don't want this because that's a big gash in the king side. And the most effective piece on H5 would be the knight, so I'm heading out with the knight to that square. Now, of course, when a knight gets there, he can trade it. So if he brings a knight to f6. But I guess he has to decide how he wants to organize the knights. Does he want to go e7 and then maybe bring the other knight over, or does he want to go knight gf6? But the combination of moves for black, I think, hasn't really worked out. Maybe he's thinking about b5. I don't know, that early a6, I mean early a6 against c4, against in a King's Indian type position, I think the most logical way to follow up would have been to play c5. And then if white plays d5, you can fling out b5 and play kind of Benko gambit. Although maybe not the best kind of Benko gambit because white is already controlling that b5 square pretty well. But I don't think that full on hippopotamus against with a pawn in c4, you know, if you think out of the queen bishop d5 really stuffs that piece. All right, now I think I'm just going to take it because now that black is committed to castling, if he takes that knight and my queen takes, then I really like my queen there on the h file attacking. So I think that's also um, kind of an issue of bad timing for black. Okay, I just kind of prosaically take the bishop and win some material, but also bishop g5, queen f3, all kinds of other moves were good too. He should go to h8 presumably. Yeah. All right. The only downside is that I've weakened the dark squares a little bit. So there's some potential counterplay there. I don't think black will really be able to organize too much because the king side is so exposed. So I'll start by leaving and then rooks get doubled. I try to trade queens, but I wouldn't really be too upset about a queen trade because I have more material here. Okay, let's get the rooks activated. Yeah, there's the queen, the offer. Oh, that was bad timing because he moved his knight away. Oh, well, we've got a start time of 10 o'clock in the morning here. I don't know what time it is where other people are. Maybe it's really early. We've had a few pieces hung so far. Um, but yeah, the right way to handle that h4, especially with the idea of playing e6, would have been to throw in h6. And when black plays, oh, you're welcome, ears. When black plays that kind of hippopotamus setup, he usually answers h4 with h6. Actually, usually plays h6 anyway, just to prevent white from trading off bishops. Okay, here we got JC Arias. So let me throw a little wrinkle. I'm always interested in testing this. You know, those who follow New in Chess yearbook, I wrote. I had a column there for some time, and I wrote a few articles on isolated pawn positions and fairly extensively on the what I call the Mises variation, the C4 and E4. Um, but he usually didn't take on D5; he'd play D4. But I've had a little bit of fun playing around with this. Black usually plays knight D7 there, but maybe bishop D7 is not a bad move. Yeah, this looks quite reasonable, but he will be a pawn down. Uh-huh. So, how to play this? Let's start with that. Well, for now, I'm not so sure that the pin is really that big a deal. I mean, I can eventually break it. I guess I could have also just simply played not bothered with h3 and then played queen d3 to get out of the pin, but maybe I'll counter pin. Uh, All right, let's see how this works out. I mean, he could play g5 and then after bishop g3 he can trade and maybe take back on d5. I have a funny pawn structure, but I may also have a very nice pressure on the f file. G4. I think g4 has to be good here, and jump in with the knight. Looks logical. Just going to run with it. Can black take on d5? I mean, there's a lot of calculating just to figure out if it's playable. It might be. I mean, if he can't do it, probably he's just going to have a bad position because he has to start by choosing. He has to take with a knight on f6, I think. If he takes with knight on b6, bishop takes f6, for sure is going to win a piece. So he's got to try the other one. Right. Now, let's see. A lot of captures in this position. I don't see that I can necessarily win anything, so I'll just trade that just to, I don't know, just to gain, not to lose time. And then I think he's going to play rook takes. It doesn't seem that I'm winning any material, but f4, knight e3. No, I don't think I want that. All right, so just bring some pieces out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked to get a little more out of this than I did, but maybe I did get something. Let's see. All right. What take something? All right. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing in making these trades, but got to do something. Yeah, he is that kind of annoying Zwischenzug. But maybe this is, as they say, pressure. That's what everybody wants, pressure. Let's see, maybe that one, that just did something, I think. I think that's going to win something. Maybe just a pawn, but a pawn is a start. Oh, it's also maybe I can get some queens, bishop c2, and get some. Oh, I might have a mating attack here. Check. Okay. Check. Bishop c2. He's going to have to play queen g8. Seems unpleasant. He does have knight f4 threat, though. Have to be careful. Oh, that's annoying. That's very annoying. That's very annoying. Yeah, that's really annoying. All right. And I'm running out of time, too. Seems like I should have been able to do more with that lineup there. I think this should mate, but I could be, well, I may very well be wrong, but yeah, I missed that. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's so annoying. So annoying. I totally misplayed this, and I have no time. Ugh. Like I just got to bide my time, maybe hope for a mistake. He doesn't have a huge amount of time either. Now maybe I'll switch. Ooh. Ah, this is going downhill. Oops. Oopsies. Ah, I did not see that. It's just a very tense position. Oops. Oops. That was stressful. Thank you, JC Harris. I got lucky at the end. I had a good position and then I went to sleep on it. Whew. Need some air after that. It's stressful to play, even for Grandmaster, I guess, to play all those moves with low on the clock. Wow. Okay. Also, well, that ends well. It's very, very messy. Thank you for the game. All right, give me an easier one, Sandro. Okay, Arnav 311004. Maybe I'll Finchetto the other bishop. I'll go for the Nyctophormian hedgehog as opposed to the John Fedorovich hedgehog. He often played the one with knight c6 and trading knights. White can play knight takes e6. It's not necessarily a big deal, though. It's just even material. Maybe in this particular case, I can play d5 in one move. Maybe it's even kind of nice for black. I think I might put this queen on the long diagonal. Yep. Okay, now what? I don't know if I want to double because I kind of like having a rook on the f file. All right, so he takes. I don't know what to make of that. d4 is maybe less attractive for me, but in the hand, I have the e file to work with. Maybe switch my queen to e6. But white does have some pressure on those pawns, on the d5 pawn. At least I played the opening quickly. Three, one, one, six. So that's not, it's not pi. That's 3.14. So it must mean something else. I'm getting a lot of these big numbers today. But he's having quite a long thought on this move. Generally speaking, it pays not to take too long on your moves in blitz chess, unless it's a very serious situation because, you don't even know what your opponent is thinking. Oh, okay, so I guess he decided he really wanted to trade bishop for knight, which I don't think is necessarily favorable. E4. Well, I think I'll just take it. Give him a weak pawn on e4. Okay. All right. You want to trade? I'll trade. Take the d file if you don't mind. I feel his knees coming on. just to be a little careful that I didn't run into e5, but his king was blocking the f file there. Now, will he try to trade rooks? No, probably he shouldn't actually. Then I think my king would run wild. So interesting position here. Well, I've got a queenside majority. I suppose I should try to push it. So I will. Push it, baby. Now, rook c1, rook d2, that would have been a winning pawn ending. Huh? Okay, so um, thinking about maybe bringing my rook around to attack the a pawn. Mm-hmm. Then what? I've got a little bit of a strange idea here. To push my a pawn. Just stop knight g5. Okay. Yeah, okay. Now, take, check, take. Oh, he's got knight b1, huh? Okay, I gotta look out for that. I could play c4 as well. All right, I'll go a4. Yeah, I was almost ready to take on h4 and get my rook trapped. That would be embarrassing. But here I can I could take on b3. I could get my rook out, so I won't get my rook trapped, which means probably this is going to work out well. h5, so I can go and take that knight. I don't necessarily want to do that. Let me just take here. Check, take. No, that's not necessarily amazing for me. What if I just go c4, use the pin? Yeah, it goes back, so otherwise it would take. All right. Now I'm looking maybe to get some trades. Or what about just the... takes. Okay, let's go and get that, clean up that king side. This kingside pawns should be strong. Why can't I take this? What's he trying to do? Trying to mate me somehow? Oh, he wants that pawn. He just wants to take the pawn. Okay, you can have the pawn. I'll regroup. Where'd all my time go, by the way? I didn't do a very good job with this, I have to admit. pretty poor job with it. I think that was a mistake, though, because he pinned himself. All right, let's see how this goes. Let's keep that knight out of there. Dominate the knight if I can. Keep it dominated. Keep it dominated. Just don't let him take my g-pawn. And now I can even take a breath here. It's a girl. That was good resistance, though. That was not easy in the end. I had to just pulled everything back and then pulled it forward. Knight d, he started to think on that move, knight d5. If he played knight g6, it would have been much harder for me to win. Thank you, Arnav 311004, Tango Niner Bravo. All right, these games have not been too easy. Dr. D. It's a Grunfeld guy, yeah? Okay. Knight takes c3, not a very good move in this move order. Although it was once played against me by international master Lev Goodman. I don't think it was really a great idea, but he he did it. And then he went knight c6, bishop b5, a6, which was particularly peculiar, I have to say. All right, I can't resist getting on that diagonal. Make him work at least to try to castle. Keep my bishop on this diagonal. Now I might just run my h-pawn at him. Thing is, if he hadn't done that with his a-pawn, maybe he might consider queenside castling, but now it's probably really dangerous. That doesn't mean he won't do it anyway, but because it's dangerous to not castle at all. So, okay, there we go. Can't be too bad to put the rook on the c1. Still like h5, because he has to worry about h6 disrupting his communication of his forces. So what have I got? d5, bishop f4. These are all possible moves. d5, kind of like that. I no longer really need the bishop to perform that much duty on that a2, g8 diagonal because it's already forced his king to the other side. Although it's true the bishop isn't going to do much. In the meantime, it's not that easy to find the move. He doesn't really want his bishop to be kicked back to f8. I think Yeah, f5. But I think this is going to happen anyway, h6. No, he can't play f4. Oh, he's hitting this pawn. Duh. Maybe I should have started with d5. I just assumed he couldn't do that. h6, bishop d4. Yeah. Yeah, that's messier than I want. Um, all right, change of plans then. So I should have played D. I should have gone d5 straight off. That was inaccurate. I rushed that move. Yeah, maybe Black's position isn't so bad if he has some good moves here. I think if he played f4, I'm wondering about h6 anyway in that position. Because if I get to take on g7, then my bishop on a2 is seeing the queening square. I might win some material down there. So that might be better than letting him take my d4 pawn, and then my position gets destabilized. Oh, I could just take the pawn, and then my bishop will come back to e3. I could do that too. Yeah, e6. Yeah, very reasonable in the circumstances now. And I don't want it to be able to settle into a blockade with knight d5. But I don't really see what d5 does. So, what to do. I feel like I have not made the most of this position. Also, definitely not making the most of the time. Ah, okay, just a random move. Not a very good one, actually. I don't see how that helps me at all. What is he thinking about, though? Hmm. He's worried about bishop e6. Does it work? I don't know that it did. Well, he's low on time, so I guess I'll start to play the clock a little bit. It's interesting he took that, but now he has to defend e6. Well, he's just getting a little time panic here. All right, grab this pawn. I think he's kind of happy to simplify because he's so low on time. G5, okay, that should not bother me too much. G4, that should not bother me too much. Now I'll go after this pawn here. Yeah, he got low on time and his position collapsed, but I say I didn't make that much of it, but also he helped himself a lot. I should have. I just erred on that f5. I forgot he was attacking d4, and then yeah, I didn't really want that position e5. I wanted the pawn to go to d5. I could have played pawn d5 move earlier. Anyway, now I'm going to have to deal with a virtuoso. So we have another form of the Mises. I don't think queen e7 check helps that much because probably going to play knight e2 anyway. So that's more higher quality developing move for white than for black. It's not clear that the queen is really going to be so good on e7, like when I start attacking it with a rook. Yeah, tempo for me. Mm, where to put this knight? I'm used to having the knight on f3 in isolated pawn position, so it's always a little different. I have to kind of work things out. Maybe it's useful to play h3 in such a situation. Mm-hmm. I have a plan. Muhuha. And the plan is this. Oh. Well, I don't think he saw it coming, but knight g6 isn't actually good here. Knight g6, he had b5, and then, yeah, and I think I'd lose material. Well, no, actually, I could move the bishop away. Yeah, I could move the bishop away. Yeah, and then the knight goes to e5, so I could have done that. I'm not sure that he had that planned, but okay. Well, yeah, I thought that probably should have played h3. I said that, didn't I? I did say that, right? Yeah, this is one of those mad at yourself situations. Okay, so I'll just hold tight. Well, if he wants to win the pawn with g5, that I could live with that, I think, because then he's going to weaken his position too. Still, better would be not allowing that situation. Yeah, so a4 with. Well, if I played h3, you could have played b5, but of course it wouldn't have been that great a move. Okay, so I'll give him this pawn. Oh, I could have gone to g6. I just forgot. I just forgot about that. I'm not sure that it would have made that much difference, but all right, so now what? Yeah, this was not brilliant. Not brilliant on my part. Maybe I'll make something of it, but not proud. Not proud of it. I probably should have even played that move, last move, to stop the knight from coming out altogether. Yeah, I'm not playing well today, guys. It hasn't been it hasn't been a great start to the day. I drove my kids to school, and I dropped them off, and I noticed I had a flat tire. It's like, yeah, I really don't need this. I have some vague ideas of sacrificing a piece. I'm gonna do it. I don't think it's all that. Well, it's interesting. Sacrifice this piece, and maybe I can make it work. It's sort of close. I mean, that king side is pretty exposed. Yeah, I can't take on f6 because he has this very naughty fork. want to keep the queen headed to the king side, though. Yeah. I do have more time, at least, and I'll try to whip up cheap attack. Not really proud, I have to say. Not proud. Virtuoso getting very low on time. Hmm. How is he defending his king side? That knight was so good on d5 too. I think he should have kept that there. Unless I'm missing something, but I don't see how he's stopping mate. He doesn't either. Thank you, Virtuoso. You played a good game. Me not so good. My standard should be a little higher. Uh, yeah, I was very, very sloppy. All right, somebody's going to take advantage of it for sure. Petro is up next. Way too many guys over 2,000, when I'm in this kind of form. Maybe he's not there. Petro, you're up. This is your shot. Your shot at the big time. Sometimes you only get one chance. Well, there's always got to be somebody. We never have seem to have a week where everybody is ready to go when they get the call. All right, Jay Russell 2. You guys may have noticed that I'm playing my C pawn on the first move. I can't be confusing, right? You've seen that move before, right? Okay. There's a little bit of an unusual gap in time between the first and second moves. Pre-moving. All right. So usual kind of close Sicilian. Now, generally speaking, you're supposed to drop the knight to d4 when white threatens d4. I don't think it's not really an absolute. Sometimes black just does allow d4 and just plays around it. But I'll just go ahead and drop knight to d4. Now, one thing the close Sicilian, a lot of amateur players, they always routinely go for the plan of rook b8, b5, b4, but they don't necessarily have to run the pawn like that. Rook to d1. That's a very unusual square. I wonder if that was an accident. Rook e1 might make sense because the knight goes to d1 a lot. I'm trying to figure out what it's doing there. Um, I don't know if I need to play rook b8, but I will, just to get off the diagonal. But I kind of prefer to play more in the center for black. Yeah, because now the knight is going to a square. It's not really so ideal. Okay. Bishop a6. Not sure the bishop is doing that much on a6, but there's two pieces, two heavy pieces on the diagonal for the time being, so it probably will serve some purpose. And probably I'm going to play d5 now. Oh, he wants to trade bishops. I think, yeah. Yeah, because he never played f4. d5. Yeah. All right, I think I'll keep the bishop. Oh, he doesn't do it. Okay. Hmm. I don't know if I want to play d5 right away. Oh, he beat me to it. Yeah. Yeah. That was silly. He got off the he got out of the pin. Yeah. All right, I'm out of it. I'm taking a lot of time too. All right. I was going to play d5. That would have been a stronger move. Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Change of plans. He still has a knight, which is not doing very much yet. But of course, he can try to change that. f4. I don't think that's the right plan. I think that will help me more than him. I think b3 was a good move to try to play c4. He needs to get that knight into play. Queen f2. Um, hmm. It's pawn hanging. I don't really. Yeah, I'm not in love with allowing f5 though. Maybe I shouldn't underestimate that f4. Should not underestimate that idea. Uh, yeah, maybe. I don't know if this is the right thing to do. I'll just open the position. We'll see what happens. I take for the bishop. Okay. All right, let's just swing this knight into the game. That was a lackluster game on my part. I'm sorry, I'm not very grandmasterly today. I guess I'm tired. Okay, so now we got bishops. We got bishops. Yes, we do. I'm not sure why I took with the queen, but I'm sure I had a very good reason at the time. It's just on kind of an exposed square. Queen f4. All right, I'm a merchant. Try to put some pressure on. Is d5 happening? Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, well, this protects, no? Could have played rook f1. Oh, wow. That's too bad. Played what looked like a very good game and then spoiled it there with the hanging happening. Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Jay Russell, too. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. I think I've won them all. I don't know how because sloppy, sloppy, sloppy today. Mystic Knights 13. All right. B6. Okay. They used to call this the English defense, and it was pretty popular circa 1980. Mhm. It's kind of interesting. I don't think it's that easy to play, though. If you're not a very high level player, sometimes it's a good idea just to play something conventional where your pieces go to normal squares, just sort of master that kind of chess. God, I'm thinking. God, I'm thinking. Maybe I'll win a pawn. So, I don't really see the percentage of the knight going to a different square. So I'll just put on F3 for now. Of course, in this type of position, black always has to watch out for some tricks with the long diagonal getting open, the knight going somewhere and attacking something with tempo. Maybe more of a problem with the bishop is on E7 because I can see, yeah, the harder to hit the queen. Okay, so just this for now. Start by getting castled. So you don't know what your opponent's going to do, but if you play, develop your king side and castles, and you see what your opponent does, and then you try to figure something out. Very practical for Blitz. All right. Okay, I'll take it. I'll centralize. Yeah. I suppose he's going to take a pawn. What does it all mean? He takes probably knight b5. Should be compensation. c5. So knight b5, or do I take en passant? Decisions. I'll go knight b5. Certainly could have gone wrong by taking en passant, but I think it may be make it harder to develop his pieces. I think bishop g5 might be an idea. Where his pawn is kind of hanging. So bishop g5. Yes. The problem is if I want to take the pawn, I don't know if bishop g5 is a useful tempo. And then bishop f4. Win in exchange. I don't know. I want that exchange. To be honest, I think I'm just gonna take here. Just grab while the grabbing's good. See, if I throw in bishop g5, if I got in this position and black goes queen e5, then I got two bishops attacked. So if I play bishop g5, then I really have to follow up with bishop f4. And then he has to sacrifice an exchange on f4. But I don't really want to do that, especially in Blitz. It's annoying to have to give up a pawn in front of your king in Blitz. All right, I'll throw that out there. I think that looks safe enough. And maybe I'll just back up my bishop. Maybe start throwing my center pawns forward. Yeah, I put the pawn on e4. That should consolidate, and then start running. I have to keep one eye out for g5 here. Make sure my bishop doesn't get trapped. Also, I allowed bishop a6 there, which would have lost in exchange for me. Um, what are you going to do? Okay, let's retreat this guy. I covered the d4 square. So that the knight has no place to go. What about e5 here? Is that just winning stuff? Yeah, it's winning stuff. I was going to set it up, but I mean, it just wins stuff, doesn't it? Just wins lots of stuff. Well, a piece, clear piece. Well, now it's more. I mean, he could have taken an e6. He didn't have to give me this much material. Now you can sacrifice the exchange on f4. I don't mind. Let's trade queens. I'm a merchant. Thanks, Mystic Knights 13. Tried to play an interesting, unorthodox opening. And it just worked out for me. But maybe he could have tried taking the pawn on d5 because the alternative was losing a pawn himself. So if he took the pawn, I certainly would have gotten compensation, but maybe it wouldn't have been that bad. How are we doing? Who's next? Simver. Very nice. What happened? Oh, guy was up, but he disconnected. Yeah, you want to make sure that you have a very sturdy internet connection if you're on Banter Blitz Day. Kat Kabanchik. Kat Kabanchik. Okay. Let's rumble. Okay. It's been a long time since I played a Benko Gambit. Hopefully I can remember how this goes. Alright, I'll just play like a lot of automatic moves. You know, lots of lines where you take the pawn on b5 too, and they're certainly interesting. Yeah, he's getting very fancy with the knights. Maybe that suggests playing in the center. Let's try that. You don't want to take me? So you have everything covered. Let's see. I'm hoping somewhere in there there's a tactic. Okay. Well, I was hoping that this was going to be a good move. I don't know if it is. It's true, my rook is hanging. I can't play bishop a6. Yeah, kind of trying to do too much here, I guess. All right, I failed. My strategy failed, I have to admit. I thought I was going to get something, but then I didn't see it. Bishop c3 didn't seem like it led to anything. I wanted to sack an exchange, but I had all these pieces back here, and so nothing was protecting my rook, and nothing to recapture, so I didn't see how to make it work. Had a glimmer of an idea, but just couldn't make it something. So now I just have to make some moves. We burned a lot of time. Another game that isn't going so smoothly. Wowsy, wowsy, woo. I'll see if I can try to gain some momentum back. I want to bring this knight in to e5 and d3 or b6. Oh, white still hasn't developed all his pieces. Yeah, okay. I got to be careful about my queen, but the knight can come into the center at least right now. So it can't go anywhere which is really going to be damaging. Yeah, now he wants knight b5. Okay, I see that. So queen go away. Okay, I'll just go away. And make him think about this diagonal a little bit. If he plays a5, I don't mind that because then he doesn't have control over b5 anymore. Ah, interesting. He's giving back to the community. Okay. On behalf of the community, I will take that. But I have a plan here. I'm not going to take on b5. I'm going to go here. And hopefully that's a good move. Well, that's clever. What's a clever move? Yeah, maybe my position isn't so good. Isn't so good. Where should I try to take that pawn? It's not such a great position for me. I hope this works. Well, if I lose this game, I deserve to lose because I have not played well enough to win. Yeah, that move worries me a lot. I think I have to go back. Now I'm kind of stuck. I don't like, but maybe I can figure out some resources here. C4. Is that an idea to help me? Um, Forced. What about this? It's not mate now, right? I have some chance of mating him even. He's got to be a little careful, huh? A little bit. Still wouldn't say I'm a favorite here, but it's better than it was. He's not just making the obvious recapture. He's thinking that one over. Bishop e6. Still, what's going on here? I have to be careful about getting mated. Really, I don't like this. I may have to come back. Oh, oh! He mated me. He was up to something. Yeah, that was nice. Kabanchuk. Well, that was really kind of fair. I missed a lot of things in that game, as well as every other game. Uh, okay, Aliko. So this looks almost like a kind of, almost like a Petrov's. I suppose the position could be reached from the Petrov's somehow. But kind of an old-timey Petrov's because black usually tries to put the pawn in d5. So I think I'm just going to play a lot of sort of routine moves. And then I got to think of a plan. Still thinking. But I got a space advantage. I'll just defend that. Overprotect it. Make it harder to hang. I'm not sure what he's up to. He wants to play c5. He does want to play c5. Doesn't look like it does all that much to me. I don't think I should play d5, so I won't. Well, he does. Back. Whoa. Confusionary riff. Interesting. All right. Well, bottom line is that knight still has to move, so. Okay. It's also interesting to see what would happen if I took the knight, but this is maybe simpler. Something hanging here. I think it's hanging. Uh-oh. What now? What am I missing here? Looks like I've got this pretty well protected. He could have played knight f6 first. That position wasn't so clear, I admit. I got an extra piece. Played in the style of Kasparov, like he did against Karpov, but I don't think he's going to get a mate here. So I'm checking out Rook D8. Well, then he can play Bishop E3. Fancy here. Just because I can. Looks like I might be able to win a game without any slip-ups. I'm on the verge. I'm on the verge of doing it. Let the pawns roll on in. Not that I need to take that, but now I got 3 pawns going. Thank you, Alico, however. Just grinding through. Yeah, just don't feel right today. Don't feel right today, and it shows. I'll try to do better next year. I'll try to be better next year. 2017. I will try to play quality blitz. Bruwansen. Bruwansen. Come on, man. Bring it on. Bring it. Go strong or don't go at all. Interesting. He said good game, but he didn't play one. So, okay. Gunslinger 3. That was very odd. This is actually a variation I used to play a lot for white, circa 1990. So I kind of decided that it was good for black to try to post this bishop around these squares. Well, at some point g5 is going to happen. I think that's kind of inevitable. Maybe soon. Gunslinger, probably now. Just wants to play f4. Well, I'm not sure that it was really a threat, but it seems like a good idea to get moving over there. Maybe I'll put the bishop on d4, but I don't know that I necessarily want to trade that for a knight. Maybe if I get his bishop too. I think black has a good position here. I'm happy to come into d4. Hmm. Could play c5, but I think I'll do this. To get some pressure on the c pawn, maybe get him to worry about that a little bit. Probably try to. Oh, actually, it's not so easy for him to drop the knight to d5. It might just lose a pawn. Oh, what am I thinking? I can just win a piece here, right? Takes. It's a piece. All right, I got to take it. How long have I had it? Since I played bishop d4, I guess. Yeah, it's just a piece. Okay, takes a pawn, whatever. Not great compensation. In fact, f3 might wrap up the game. Yeah, I think it does. Gunslinger. Yeah. Well, it just shows I'm out of it today. It took me so long to see. I was threatening bishop c3. At my level, I'm supposed to see that. You guys can over. Oh, so Bruin Zen is back. Maybe he wanted to play black. I don't know, for some reason. I don't know. Hmm. All right. So he makes a move after half a minute. Okay. It's a little chilly in here. Knight f6. All right. I always hate when you can't find the sleeve. Yeah. There we go. All right. Feel like I've won some tempi here. I wasn't too sure that he couldn't take the pawn on d4. I didn't think he would somehow. Oh boy, it doesn't really get out of the way of d5. It just kind of makes it stronger, no? It just happens with one more piece undeveloped. That's why I wanted to take a chance on queen e2, because getting my rook to the d file was a way to try to open up the position quickly. And actually has some genuine problems with his queen opposite the rook, how he's going to keep that protected. Mm-hmm. This is going to cost some material. Whoa! All right. Queen for rook. Surprised me with that decision. Shrek. Shrek. Just a few more routine moves. And it's done. Got plenty of time. Figure hold on to that pawn for a few moves. Not really worried about losing it, but all right. Thank you for the game, Bruanzen. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm often stumped. Can't be all that far from the end. Which can't come too soon. For me, not been artistic achievements today. I'm afraid. I've had some months where I play a lot of nice games. I mean, I did have some tense battles, but I feel like I didn't really do a great job. Okay, so GBMA. I wonder what that stands for. But anyway, he's up. He's got a shot in the big leagues. We're all waiting for you. Everybody's looking at you, waiting for a move. No, not there. Fort 64. Lay it on me. And maybe that happens with when you get late into the session, because maybe people were very far down in the queue and then they stopped paying attention, or they went off or whatever. I think as we get probably more of those at the end of the session, towards the end. Well, nice knowing you, Fort 64. Okay, Anto Johnson answers the bell. And he takes my pawn. I will endeavor to recover it. Hmm. Well, I'm glad he didn't go for knight e4, and then I would have taken that. So he was savvy enough to see that coming. Always check. It might be mate. Now my queen is getting ready to roam, perhaps. I'm not even sure if that's a threat on b2, but sometimes it's good to probe your opponent, attack something, see what they do about it. Maybe they'll make an awkward move to defend it. Or think a long time, which is also good. I like that. b1, reasonable, certainly. That idea that queen on a6 might be good. Not sure why. I was just so inspired. I mean, I was inspired to go in that direction, not that I was particularly inspired. So, in that sense, or in the sense of Wesley. Okay. Let's do something unconventional. I'll let him double my pawns and then see if I can play on those open files. So, I'm going to try to use these files. I'm opening up the rook, and this knight on d7 might start jumping. Well, I didn't really want to go to b4 anyway. I could have gone there last move, so I don't know that a3 is really not necessary. I could sack the exchange. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just in case Grandmaster Fedorovich is watching, the master of the exchange sacrifice. I think he should have actually taken this knight in f6, because now after this move, I think material is coming back with interest. And conveniently, that's a fork. So I get the exchange back. All right, well, now I double my pawns. Mm-hmm. You see, sometimes a move like King F7, just helping your position but not doing anything directly, it's a good move to play when your opponent's short of time, and then you do this and you win material. So I just actually just waited for him to play King D2 rather than move the knight away. Ah, okay. Well, now we get some fun here now. Mm, I don't know. I want to do something clever here, but uh, okay. Here goes. Bazinga! Bazinga! All right, thank you, Anto Johnson. I got to have a little fun at the end there. Marco Luis, I guess that probably is pronounced like Marco and Luis together. Well, sports fans, this is going to be the last one, and I get to make my exit. Contemplate all the many things I have to do today. I already had this today, didn't I? So this is a slightly different version. I got my bishop to d3, my pawn to h3, so the bishop on c8 has no squares to go to. I usually have this position. I usually have this position with one less tempo. I've actually been yeah, this is actually transposed into a book position. It can come out of the out of a lot of different openings, and it was covered in my New in Chess yearbook article. So I hope that I have something clever to show here in this position. The problem is that I review all these games and I look at the different move orders and I figure stuff out about them so that I can I could write about them. But then once I put it down in the article, I very often just forget all that. So it's sometimes hard to keep it all straight in my head. All right, what if I just no? I'm thinking about taking the knight on c6, but I have a feeling that I really shouldn't. So I'll just go here. I'll just stop knight b4, and then I'll just put my rooks in the middle. 97, this one wants to blockade. Well, I had my chance, I guess. I had my chance. Yeah, he's doing a good job, I guess. 95, nothing hanging yet. I don't know if that's a good idea, but I'll try it. Mm. I don't know. It's just not happening today. These games are I don't think people can even tell exactly how bad this is, like how many things I'm missing, like that. Okay. It's just been an ugly day. It's just ugly, ugly, ugly chess. Marco Luis on the verge of greatness. Can he pull it off? Try to fight back for my pride here. Maybe I can have a pawn. Maybe I can have a pawn for the piece at least. Still pretty ugly. Uh, oh wow. I'm gonna get mated. I have less time too, which is really not fun. On top of everything. Maybe I can get a counterattack. Not likely. That wasn't a good move either. Oh, this is interesting. I don't think I could take advantage of it though. It's unfortunate. Yeah, looks like I'm going down here. Yep, I'm gonna give that one up. Yeah, this is there was this was a game where I was working on giving it away a lot of times, and Marco Luis did not let me back in the game. So well done. Okay, yeah. I mean that's just fair. It was not. It's not a good game, good day for me. Just did not have it, and certainly would not have been right for me to go unscathed when I'm in this kind of form. So it was good. A couple players took advantage of me today, but I'll try to be stronger next year when I come back for the next time, and be ready for this challenge a little bit more. So hope you guys will be ready for me. Thanks to everybody came out today, everybody who played, everybody who tried to play. Sorry, maybe next time. Appreciate it, and come on out next time. I'll be waiting for you. I'm Grandmaster Joel Benjamin, and this has been ICC's Banter Blitz.